Well, good morning. I thought I'd do a quick little walk around just to show off some of the things that are a little bit different about this, what we think now is a 64 Series 2A, because the transmission bearings that had gone out, the transfer case bearings that had gone out were the plastic enclosed transfer case bearings, which happened in 64. Prior to that, we thought we had a 63. But this one's a little different. I posted some stuff last night that raised some questions, so I thought I would share it. One of the final things we're still working on is just getting the door seals in, but everything else is really starting to button up. We tried to keep everything on the interior pretty straightforward, but of course there's quite a bit of customization happening here, and we added something to this 2A that was not there usually. There's also a cutout in the roof for a Safari canopy top. If you want to stand up and take photos in the back while you are having somebody drive you around, you can. We added a tachometer, and I'll show you why here in a little bit, and an oil pressure gauge and an oil temperature gauge. But everything else we tried to stay pretty truest on. This panel will, of course, at some point get a winch and a couple of other little gadgets. But for the truest, I know it's not, but it is fun for us anyway. If you look really close here, what was really cool is we took one of the stock Exmoor trim transmission tunnel coverings, and we went ahead and customized it. This is a birthday gift for my wife. She took my measurements and had the extra pieces cut to fit, and we'll show you that why is later too. In trying to keep the stock look, obviously I wanted to get something that looked like it was supposed to be there. I think that came out okay. One thing that we also did, that since I know this will never have a PTO on it anymore, that's a perfect little hole there for a stock light right out of your local Napa Auto Parts, and I now have a reverse light. Went ahead and did a little rhino lining on the back here as well, and you know, probably would have liked to have done the Line-X material because that's so nice for the way they do it, but did that myself on a weekend and I think it came out okay. And of course, here's back up in the front again. One of the next little projects I have too is I'm going to cut a panel that'll be the actual right size for all that, but we were just tinkering with some final wiring. This is where things get a little different. Somebody commented on a Series 3 port, but you're never going to recognize what any of this is, obviously, on a 2A, but let's see why. This is that 5-liter V8 that we put in, and it's really buttoned up nice in here, and the wiring's much cleaner, and it's finally at its final stage. We're just putting everything back together finally, and it's working nicely. But what you'll notice here is that the air intake, which really had no home, well, we went ahead and made a vent for it. And if you look at what we did here, we made a box for it underneath. And it just really worked out great. There's just a kind of a cylinder filter, air filter in there, and thought that came together very nicely. While we were at it, I thought let's just go ahead and make the only other thing that makes it obvious from the outside that it's not stock to be the little bit of a better heater vent intake. And of course, anybody who's a tourist knows these are not stock headlights, but here's the reason why. I had that much room between the new radiator and the headlights, so we went with an LED. It gives me all the room I need just by cutting the back of the headlight off, or the headlight casing off the back, and so that worked really nicely. But this mounted up really nicely, some rubber, and that's the big difference. Obviously, the original clutch reservoir, and then a new Series 3 brake booster and that setup there. But yeah, my daily driver, and keeping the old 2.4 just wasn't an option. I hope everybody agrees. The point of a Landy is to make it your own, and in my point, try to keep it as stock looking as possible. And that's what we got.